This community program would not be possible without the financial support of our corporate sponsors and community members. Tri-Cities Community Television would like to especially thank the cities of Port Moody, Coquitlam, and Port Coquitlam for their belief and support of community television. If you wish to be part of our volunteer team, become a sponsor, or make a financial contribution to support community programming, please feel free to contact us at the following location.
Hi, it's Cathy Cena, right in downtown Port Coquitlam with Tri-Cities Community TV, and we are in the studio at Lee Square. And my guest today is Bruce Ellemo, #1 selling author of Things I Wish My Parents Taught Me. Bruce, this is a very interesting title. Thanks for being here, by
pleasure.
the way.
Thank you.
Yes, and how did you come about with this title?
Well, it was, as much as our parents love us, they, clearly teach us all they can.
Yes.
But they can only teach us what they know. And they taught me, be kind, be gracious, be respectful. They taught me a lot of things, but they just didn't mind down. And if they had spent just a little more time on the fine details, it would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of grief in my life. And so I've been studying successful people, high achievers, and I've been working on myself for 30 years. And I started to uncover all the stuff that everyone does who's successful or a high achiever. And it's a process and a formula. And so I thought, I'm going to write this out, and I'm going to write it out, and I'm going to give it to my kids, because God forbid something happens to me, I want them to have this knowledge.
Right.
And so that's what got me going, and then that's.
So when we read the book, you have to forgive me because I don't have a copy of it.
Yes.
I wanted this to be sort of an organic
Yes,
interview, and just going back a little bit more. You and I, we use the same photographer, and that's how I found you. I kind of creeped you a little bit on Instagram. Yes, I'm a creeper, you guys. Yes, I am. And so I found you on Instagram, and I thought that the book was really interesting, because I always wish my parents would have taught me X, whatever X would have been. If I knew then what I know now, I could also be parenting in a little bit of a different way. But in addition to that, it's not just about what your parents taught you or didn't teach you. You're also doing a lot of stuff that is more motivating and has to do with discipline and everything else out there. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, discipline is the key to success in life, in any endeavor. It doesn't matter what you're doing. And we talked about on the way in. If you just keep going, a lot of people, and human will is a big part of that discipline. And so if you just keep going, and if you just keep going for years at one thing, and you just repeat, nothing changes day to day, but when you look back in 2 years, a year, everything changes. So you just got to keep going at whatever you want. And the lady earlier spoke about passion, and when you have that, it's people don't quite understand how long it takes to become successful, and it just takes years. And discipline is the key, to freedom. Yeah, you bet.
So you run your own business.
Correct.
It's been, 25 years?
Yes.
At Assured Leasing?
Yeah, assuredlease.com. Yes.
Okay, great. So you just thought you wanted to write this book one day. You've just recently been published.
Yes.
Is there another book coming out?
Well, perhaps, yes, I think there is. I've got a couple chapters written,
Okay.
but we're just launching this one, and so I just kept going. I mean, it took me a long time to write the book.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but I just keep going. And so, yeah, I've got another one in the mix, and I think it's the human will and, getting out of your comfort zone, and I speak to that a lot. And it just seems that we're all a little bit, afraid, trepidatious, cautious, guarded, a little blocked, and we're not really being our best us that way, I think. I think we just got to get a little bit uncomfortable to become comfortable, and I do a lot of that stuff. So I think that's right in the wheelhouse of the next book. Yeah.
Getting out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
Do you think that while you were studying these high achievers, did you feel that there was something like within you that you wanted to do something a little different and make a difference in the world, in terms of like whether it's this book or your next one? Because you don't just sort of wake up one morning, I don't think, and decide, oh, I want to write a book that's going to better the lives of others. So when did you have that sort of cross zone in your life? When did that happen?
Yeah, it's a great question. It was probably when I was younger. I started reading about this high achievers, successful people, and I really learned that most of us don't know what success is, and we just don't have a radar. We don't understand the measurement of success, so we're constantly chasing it, and we never get anywhere. And for me, growing up, it was money. I always thought success was money. look at that guy with a nice car, that guy's got a nice house, look at that, these guys are successful. Well, no, it's not. That's a part of success. But as soon as I understood that it's just not all about money, because if it's money, you know, the numbers are numbers, and you'll never have enough.
Right.
So success to me is a balance of all of the things that's available to us: love, peace of mind, happiness, health, spirituality, friendship, love with our families, and you know, some purpose and some leisure time. So there's only, as humans, there's only certain things that are available on Earth. To us, and it is limited. So my balance of success is if I have all those things in abundance, which I'm told I can have since we were kids. Your parents, you can be anything you want, you can do anything you want. In the Bible, there's verses that say our inheritance is all those things. So you should have all those in abundance, and we always don't have that. So I said, that's my measurement of success. So now, I don't think I'm ever going to have them all, but I've got a lot of them.
Right,
and if it's always dipping up and down. You know, I akin it to juggling balls. You know, 6 balls. You're never going to have all 6 in the air, the balls of life. But you know, you can have 5, and the other one might just be, you know, a little bit lower. But it's always going to be dipping, and so that's.
I think when we're growing up, you know, between the age of 0 and 7, there's different things that are ingrained in us, whether we can understand them at that time or not. And I think that, you know, you brought up the money and the success and the cars and the things, the material things. And I think you shifted that as you got older and thought, you know what, those are not the important things in my life. Other things are important that you just mentioned, you know, 5 or 6 of them in a row. And I think that it obviously happens with us because the way that we are raised with our parents.
Right.
If money was important or money was something that was a lack of it in the household, for example, then they're gonna, you know, get a good job, stay with that job, go get a paycheck, become something of yourself, go get a degree, you know, etc. So I think that I recently learned that at a seminar, and it was sort of one of those things like, oh wow, like you don't know. You know, we talked about our kids; they're older now, so I hope I did well because they're certainly not between 0 and 7. So you just kind of, you know, you roll the dice and you hope for the best.
You sure do.
But parenting is a challenge. I think that in our generations, our parents, maybe not to say that they didn't know what they were doing, but certainly they weren't maybe as open as parents are today. Yeah. Would you agree?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Yeah, and I guess if it's a different era, and that's a little bit of an excuse, I think. You know, era doesn't matter. Humans are humans back then, and as they are now.
Right.
But you know, again, they can only teach you what they know, and if they don't know it, they're not going to teach it to you because you can't. And so that's why I've been reading this stuff for 30 years and studying this because I want to be able to teach it.
Exactly. So where's your book now? Where can people find it?
Well, you can find it at the Indigos. You can find it For the Save on Foods. It's online, Amazon. You can just Google, or not Google, but search, you know, things I wish my parents taught me, or my name, Bruce Ellemo.
Or your name, yes.
And it's on there, and then of course Amazon will have it in your doorstep a couple days.
And who's your mentor? Who inspires you, Bruce?
Well, you know, my dad is a big deal to me.
Although this book is about your parents, it's your father.
Yeah, he said as it was getting written, he said, "Don't throw me under the bus here, man."
It's not all peaches and cream,
no,
right? Like,
it's, you know,
talk about some challenges, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah, because I'm no different than anybody else. We all have the same challenges, but definitely him. And you know, my good friend David Nichol has been a mentor to me for a long time, and I really like him because he's just a solid man. And there's just good people in my life. I mean, there's a lot of people that have helped me be who I am. And you know, I'm forever grateful.
I guess
for
I thought you might say someone completely, I don't know. Like for me, it was Zig Ziglar of that time.
Oh, I see.
You know, when I
sure.
sold real estate, it was Mike Ferry, for example. So I thought maybe you'd pick someone completely out there that we all would know. But I'm glad it was your father and a very close friend of yours. And anything else that we should know about the book?
You know, I think, Cathy, it's just the process is the same for all of us, and it's really just an outline of exactly what everyone who is a high achiever or a successful person does, and that's really kind of what it was. I boiled down all of the information that I'd accumulated, you know, over the last 30 years, and then I worked on myself, and I just kept working on myself for years, and it works.
Do you think that's the difference? This is my last question.
Yes,
What makes your book different? Because we all have, you know, motivational books. The title's different, definitely, because I wouldn't expect to get what you're saying in the book reading this kind of title. But I think, you know, what's the difference, let's say, between you and another motivational person that has gone through discipline and passion and purpose? What would you say your difference is?
Good question. Well, there's no difference. No, this is zero difference. I'm not reinventing the wheel here.
Right,
I'm
okay.
not, I mean, it's all the same, whether it's, you know, Nightingale, Proctor, whoever, it's all the same stuff. And, but for me, you know, it worked, I did it, and it yielded results. And then I just put my own spin on it. You know, I put some of my life in there, and I wanted to show people, and in particular to start my children, that if you do this, it works. It can't fail. It's impossible. But you got to be patient. It takes time, and you have to be disciplined.
Yeah.
You just have to.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate you being here in the studio today. And as you heard it, discipline is the word of the day. If you wanted to know what maybe your parents should have taught you, pick up a copy of Bruce Ellemo's book. You can find him on Amazon. Did you say
Yes,
Amazon?
correct, yes.
Just search him out on Amazon, and I'll be reading his book in the near future as well. Thanks so much. I'm Cathy Cena with Tri-Cities Community TV.